was worried more about the fights in front of me, but yeah, it happens. I mean, that happens. When you put 3 guys up on stage, 2 guys are going to fight, it can happen.
Can we expect something soon to be, is it trending in the right direction?
Absolutely. I mean, they were here, right? They're on stage. Read in between the lines, boys.
Now, historically, you've always said you've never encouraged players to retire unless you're taking a lot of punishment. But when you see Conor suffer an injury after obviously the leg break and broken toe and now what looks to be a potential ACL, at what point do you think that you should listen to your body and call it?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly. I do feel that way, but it's the guys that start saying, I've been thinking about retiring, and the minute you start talking or thinking about retiring, you absolutely positively should. I haven't heard that from him yet, but he hasn't spoke publicly yet. We'll see what he has to say.
And if he comes out and says, "Look, I want to run it back with you guys," do you know what's happening?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this whole thing plays out. There's a lot of unanswered questions right now that will play out over the next several days, and that's why I don't come into these things and start talking about the future. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tonight, tomorrow, and Monday, and then we'll get back to the office on Tuesday, and it's not even worth talking about right now. I don't know enough.
They'll exchange with him and he'd shoot in. What's happened? Oh my God, McGregor's done already. Well, he's finished. The new boy is in town. The main man's here. Know what I mean? I can become the face of the organisation now. But yeah, great. What a performance from me. Don't want to blow smoke up my own ass, but what a performance.
His leg already? His leg already?
Conor McGregor?
Did he just hurt his leg already?
Did Conor McGregor hurt his leg?
Yeah, move up to you must be doing that stuff, bro.
He said he's gonna play this.
Flipping around a bit on the mat.
Always looking at the referee because the referee is injured. Mike Belshot says keep working. So needed.
Yeah, not good. Every time he rolls, like there's something wrong with his leg. And it's that leg.
Yeah, it's his bad leg.
Is it the same one?
That's going to drop.
Is that it? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Both legs went, I swear.
I have to talk to him, unfortunately.
Hey guys, let's give it up for Conor McGregor, guys. What an absolute animal. When we were in here, he kept trying to say, I was trying to come on point, and he came out on the fight off. Hey, but you guys are lucky, because they're going to be a Holloway versus McGregor 3 now. Let's get to the fucking money, boys.
I understand he'd like to see him.
Snaps his foot and he winces in pain. Fuck! I fucking hate my life! This is the one fucking escape I get, and it's shit! And McGregor's just limping around like my fucking nan! Fuck!
With the long-awaited rematch between Conor McGregor and Max Holloway now officially in the books, the debate has finally been settled inside the octagon. Before the fight, the MMA world was divided, as fighters, coaches, analysts, and former champions all offered their own predictions on how the blockbuster showdown would unfold. Some believed McGregor's power and experience would be enough to carry him back to victory, while others trusted Holloway's relentless pace and championship-level durability. Now that the result is in, it's time to revisit those predictions and find out who called the fight correctly. Michael Bisping was one of the analysts who believed McGregor's move to 170 pounds could become a major advantage. He argued that despite Holloway's height, Conor would still be the physically stronger fighter with the reach, power, and size to dictate the early exchanges. Bisping predicted that if McGregor won, it would most likely happen in spectacular fashion, with an explosive first-round knockout fueled by his trademark aggression. At the same time, however, he admitted there was one major concern hanging over the Irishman, the challenge of returning to elite competition after spending years away from the octagon.
At welterweight, at 170 pounds, that immediately favours Conor McGregor. That's just a fact. Max Holloway, yes, he's taller, but he has a shorter reach. He's 5'11", Conor's 5'9". Conor's got a 74-inch reach, Max Holloway, 69-inch reach. Now, if Conor gets this job done, if he can win this fight, right, it's going to be an explosive knockout in round one. And it favours Conor early because he is the heavier guy naturally. On the night, I'm going to guess he's going to be about 185 pounds. We saw what happened with Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira. He was controlled and taken down by the bigger guy, right, and the better grappler, to be fair. Conor's not a grappler. Conor's not going to do that. Conor's going to come out and swing for the fences because that's what he's always done. And by the way, he's also going to have, in my opinion, some nervousness, a little bit of anxiety, as he's still got it, right? I don't think the moment's going to get to him because Conor McGregor is a master of those big moments. It's just...
Michael Bisping also made it clear that, in his opinion, McGregor's path to victory was extremely narrow. He believed Conor needed to end the fight early because the longer the contest lasted, the more it would favor Max Holloway. Bisping argued that a 5-year layoff would inevitably become a factor as the rounds piled up, making it difficult for McGregor to maintain the same speed and explosiveness. If Holloway could survive the dangerous opening minutes, Bisping expected the momentum to shift dramatically. From there, he predicted Max's relentless pace, superior cardio, and non-stop combinations would gradually wear McGregor down, allowing Holloway to take over the fight and break him apart as each round passed.
To be honest, outside of a first round knockout, which could happen, it's then going to go dramatically downhill for Conor McGregor because he's never been good in rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5. He just hasn't, okay? He wasn't in his prime, and I don't think he will be at almost 38 years old with 5 years away from the octagon. If Max Holloway can survive that first round, then it all goes downhill. Max Holloway starts to take over. Max Holloway starts to land more and bigger and longer combinations with more meaningful shots. Starts getting a little bit fancy with it. Starts throwing in the spinning back kick to the stomach, to the face. Starts pointing down at the canvas because he sees Conor McGregor tired and he knows that the victory is within his sight. Okay? I predict Max Holloway will be the winner on Saturday night. I believe that Conor McGregor is going to go out there. The crowd is going to be ridiculous, okay? The anticipation for the fight is through the roof. The demand for Conor McGregor is still there. And Max Holloway, people love...
Joe Rogan viewed the fight from a different perspective, believing the real test for Conor McGregor wouldn't come in the opening exchanges, it would begin once the fight moved into the middle rounds. In Rogan's opinion, rounds 2 and 3 would reveal whether McGregor could still keep pace with a relentless volume striker like Max Holloway after spending years away from competition. He also cautioned fans against judging McGregor's preparation solely by training footage released online, pointing out that public clips rarely tell.
Boy, we're going to find out. We're really going to find out what's going on if it gets into the second and third rounds. That's when we're really going to find out.
We'll know.
We'll know immediately.
At that point.
But I mean, whether or not he can really fight for 5 rounds, like against a guy with a great gas tank.
Yeah.
Max says
after 5 years of tearing your body up.
Yeah, you don't know, right? Because it's all in a vacuum. Like there's some training footage of him beating guys up that you've seen, but who knows what he actually has been doing. We know he's been partying, but has he also been like really training? Because if he's been really training and he shocks everybody because he's still got his skills.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, if he somehow or another sparks out Max in like the first round, do you know how big he becomes?
He's right back.
Right back.
Right back.
I mean,
like,
he's
right back. Him and Justin Gaethje, the biggest fight in the history of the known universe.
That would be sick.
They go for the BMF title at 170.
Right.
Conor's like, I don't want to cut any weight. That fight,
Ariel Helwani focused less on making a prediction and more on the unanswered questions surrounding both fighters. He wondered how Max Holloway would adapt to competing at 170 pounds, but ultimately wasn't too concerned, believing Holloway's natural size and athleticism would allow him to handle the extra weight without sacrificing the pace that defines his style. His biggest question mark, however, was Conor McGregor. Helwani questioned how 5 years away from competition, multiple injuries, and the challenge of rediscovering his competitive edge would affect a fighter who was once regarded as one of the most dangerous finishers in MMA. For him, the biggest mystery wasn't McGregor's talent, it was whether the same version of McGregor still existed when the cage door finally closed.
At some point, Max is going to slow down. Prior to the Oliveira fight, he wasn't slowing down at any point. So there's a million questions there. How's he going to look at 170? You know, I think that's a really interesting thing that not enough people are talking about. Just with that extra weight, I don't think it will be a huge deal, because probably when he's fighting at 55, he's getting, like, I suspect Max is going to weigh in at like 168. You know, like, I don't think he's going to struggle to make 170.
I mean, he's a big boy. Well, I was with him one time in Hawaii, and his ass was at 185.
Yeah, so I'm just curious how he looks. And then obviously there's like a gazillion stories with Conor. The layoff, the injuries, all the other shit that he's had to deal with, you know, the body. And then there's just like the silk pajamas thing, right? Like the Marvin Hagler line. Is he really truly motivated at this stage with all that success and fame and fortune and all that? Is he truly motivated to push himself like he was 10 years ago? Does he have that chip on his shoulder? Like, you know, but a lot of bad stuff has happened over the last couple of years to him. And his Q rating has gone down. And maybe that's the motivation, to remind people who he is, to write those.
Joe Rogan and his panel also took a closer look at Max Holloway's physical frame heading into the fight. Rogan argued that Holloway has always been a naturally big featherweight, carrying far more size than many fans realize outside of competition. After watching his recent training footage, he felt Max looked noticeably stronger, healthier, and completely comfortable at the higher weight. Rogan even suggested that repeatedly cutting back down after competing at lightweight had become increasingly demanding on Holloway's body. Because of that, he believed fighting at a heavier weight could actually bring out an even better version of Max 1 with the same relentless pace, but without the physical strain of an extreme weight cut.
Max was fighting at 145 when he was a champ, and he was walking around like 176. He's a big guy.
He's a bigger guy.
Well, good.
He's big.
I mean, I love Max, so it's hard for me to believe Conor's coming back.
I follow Max on YouTube. He's got a great channel, so recording all of his training and all the stuff he's doing. And, you know, you see him, he looks good, dude. He looks big.
Dustin Poirier thinks Max might be bigger.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he's taller, and he says he's kind of thin, but he's got a bigger frame. He thinks he's going to be
he's
bigger
tall.
than Conor.
Like, I mean, he came to my gym a couple times, and he's like my height, basically.
I think he made a big mistake going back to 45 after he did 55.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's too hard. I think it's just too hard on the body, and especially when he was a thick 55 when he fought Justin. He looked good, man.
Yeah.
He looked solid at that weight. I think him fighting at that weight, he could actually.
While Joe Rogan and his guests continued discussing the advantages Holloway might gain by competing at a heavier weight, Chael Sonnen shifted the conversation in a completely different direction. According to Sonnen, the event was always built around Conor McGregor, regardless of who stood across the cage from him, but he believed the biggest storyline wouldn't end when the fight was over. Instead, the question everyone would immediately begin asking was, what's next for Conor McGregor? Sonnen pointed to a potential showdown with Paddy Pimblett as one of the biggest possibilities, arguing that the matchup would generate enormous fan interest and instantly become one of the UFC's biggest attractions, no matter how McGregor's return ultimately played out.
It's a Conor show. We understand that. But I'm sharing with you the idea that we come out the back end of this fight. What do we do then? That might sound like a very distant problem. It's a problem that's going to be here in 2 days. the very first thing that Dana is going to get asked at the end of the night is, what do we do with, and then fill in fighter who won. Now, in this case with Conor, where outcome does not matter, he's going to get asked that for Conor as well. Regardless of outcome, if Conor wins, Paddy loses. Paddy wins, Conor loses. Paddy loses, Conor loses. Conor wins, Paddy wins. Regardless of outcome, Paddy versus Conor works. There is an appetite by you, the community. Paddy has since called for this. Paddy has since openly said, respectfully, that a fight with McGregor is something that...
Continuing the discussion about McGregor's future, MMA Guru turned his attention back to the matchup itself and questioned how dangerous Conor would remain once the fight moved beyond the opening minutes. In his view, Max Holloway has evolved into a far more complete fighter since his championship run, sharpening not only his striking technique, but also the cardio and composure that have become trademarks of his style. MMA Guru predicted that Holloway would stay disciplined, target McGregor's lead leg, and refuse to get pulled into the psychological games that have rattled so many of Conor's past opponents. While acknowledging McGregor's explosive power in the early stages, he ultimately believed Holloway's non-stop pressure and technical adjustments would begin to take over as the fight wore on.
Early game has improved since when he was featherweight champ. He was a bit of a cardio merchant at featherweight, but I think his technique and his striking, as he's moved up in the divisions, has gotten a lot better. Man, I think Holloway's going to do this. I think he's going to stay composed, go out there, stomp the lead leg of McGregor quite a bit. McGregor's going to do it. What's that? What's that? He's going to be pulling out all the fucking classic McGregor emotes from your favorite McGregor fight. A little clap with his hands in front of Holloway. Wide Chuck Norris style, yeah? I'm going to come out there, wide hands, Chuck Norris style, yeah? And say, what have you got? And you'll do nothing. You know what I mean? He's going to have all of it. All of your favorite McGregor classics. Okay? But I think Holloway still wins. I think Holloway's going to smirk at it, laugh at it. We did what we did, brother. But then, as time goes on, McGregor is more hittable in those later rounds. In the second, third, fourth, fifth round. Beyond that explosive moment in the first. He does just get stung by jab in a lot of his fights. He'll do a lot of like standing there with his hands down and waiting to pull out the way of shots and throw back. But once that's not going to KO you anymore, which happens at around the late second round mark of the fight, once he's not going to chin you with that, you can start following up with your first strike. And Holloway is a master at the jab, jab, two, at the 1-2 down the pipe. That's his game. I can so see him clipping McGregor in the second and third round. I think we're getting a McGregor guillotine, Paul. It's crazy, I know, but McGregor does love himself a guillotine. I think we can see a clinch moment break out where McGregor turns around and maybe Holloway's mixing up a single just to mix it up on McGregor a bit, and he pulls a guillotine and Holloway has to escape it. I just don't...
Tim Welch also sided with Max Holloway, believing the fight would ultimately be decided by elite striking rather than grappling. He pointed to Holloway's extensive experience in 5-round battles, praising his ability to maintain a relentless pace while consistently outscoring opponents over the distance. Welch acknowledged Holloway's previous loss to Charles Oliveira, but dismissed the grappling concerns from that fight, arguing they wouldn't play a meaningful role against McGregor. He expected Conor to be at his most dangerous during the opening rounds, particularly the first two, but felt Holloway's pressure, incredible volume, and proven durability would gradually shift the momentum. By the end of 5 rounds, Welch predicted Holloway would do enough to earn a clear decision victory.
Max blessed Holloway, who's 34 years old now. It seems like he's been in the UFC forever because he has 27 wins, 9 losses, 12 KOs, 2 subs. In my opinion, one of the best 5-round fighters out there, especially when it comes to a striking match. 5 rounds, going tit for tat, trying to outpoint the other guy. Max is one of the best. And his last fight, he lost against Charles Oliveira. Grappling, got body locked. That's not going to happen against Conor. If I had to pick right now, guys, if I had to bet money on it, it's a striking match. Conor is one of the best strikers. Now, I think Conor's going to come out there, look pretty good first, second round. It might be closer rounds, those first, second rounds. Max is going to start kind of taking off a little bit in third, fourth, fifth, and piecing them up. I think Max Holloway is going to win this fight by decision. Okay? That's what I'm